Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Ask Us Anything. I'm Jen, this is Mike, and Bo has got our back. He's right behind us, laying down, being a really good boy.
See if I can show him Bo here.
Yeah, he is being
There's
good
Bo.
because there's a blue heron that's tempting him.
He's been
But
barking at
he's
blue
controlled.
herons.
But the blue heron's been yelling at him.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us. And I can you guess where we are?
Anybody got an idea? You couldn't spell it if I told you. This is actually Santa Rosa Sound, and it's connected to on this end and then on this end to Choctawhatchee Bay up in the Northwest Florida Panhandle. So we're coming to you live. It's daylight savings time, so we can now go back outside as we travel the country. We get to show you all the beautiful areas we're in, and Choctawhatchee Bay, Santa Rosa Sound, the Gulf of Mexico, the Emerald Coast area of Florida. We hope to spend a month or so down here. Next week, we'll be heading over towards the, they call it the Big Bend area of the Florida Peninsula, where the Panhandle meets the rest of the peninsula. Some people call that the Forgotten Coast. Mm-hmm. Some people call that Old Florida, and we'll be there next week. Lord willing, that's our plan. So
and the creeks don't rise.
And the creeks don't rise, and the floods don't come or anything like that. Beautiful weather. It's a little chilly. It was a cold front went through Florida this weekend as a crazy storm that came across the Gulf and then up the eastern seaboard. But I mean, come on, the sunshine, it's gorgeous.
You can tell the tourists, they're out there with shorts on and sitting on the beach. They're not going to let the cold weather stop them.
Yeah. Have you noticed if the sun is out, it's all good. It's all good.
People are there.
Hey, lots of folks here. Let's say hi to our friend Ed Richards, who is in chilly but South Louisiana.
Yeah.
Chilly but beautiful South Louisiana.
Preparing for a road trip to Bayou Signet State Park next weekend and seeing the Blue Angels fly. Awesome photo opportunity. Actually, it is.
Ed, you're going to be very close to us. You're just across Choctawhatchee Bay kind of works out to Pensacola Bay, and it's right on the other side of there is where you're headed. And of course, the Blue Angels are based in Pensacola, and they start their practices, I think, this coming week. There's a big flyby that we'll even see they come up as far as where we are here and then head towards Pensacola. So just a great area. And the Blue Angels, if you're down in this part, you see them every week. They fly, I think, Tuesdays, is it?
And we were given some sad news last night about them.
Well, yeah, they've closed. You used to be able to go right out on the tarmac at the Naval Air Station in Pensacola, where they're based. Mm-hmm. And we've done that, where you just sit right on the flight line.
And you watch them practice.
And it is awesome. They got a little narrator there, and the pilots all come by at the end of the practice, and then
it's also the museum, the world's greatest museum.
One of the best museums we've ever seen is there. But that's been closed for security reasons for a couple of years now. So, but you still
unless
can
you're
see
a military person.
I think if you're military,
if you're military, you can get in.
So Ed, have a great trip. Thanks for saying hi. Let's see, checking in is Ron.
And Ron is saying hello from upstate New York. So hello back, Ron.
And Chris Colley is handling everything for us over on YouTube. Thank you, Chris, for being there again.
It's okay.
And also from on Facebook is Phyllis Carr, who is taking care of everything there. Great to see all of you guys, and Chris and Phyllis. We couldn't do this without you. Our friends Davis, Dandy, and Buster.
The snow is covering in the shadows here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Looking forward to getting out there soon.
Yes, I hear the snow did come through Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, Nashville, Knoxville.
Our grandson called today. How much snow did they have?
He said they had 3 or 4 inches.
Wow.
In Nashville. So,
yeah.
So there is snow everywhere. Except here, which
they don't usually get it here.
Yeah, it
was cold enough to get it here.
It was 29 degrees this morning when I woke up, and then it quickly heated up. It's in the 50s now, and it's back in the 70s tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So Donna's there,
and from sunny Scottsdale, Arizona.
Hey Donna, thank you for joining us.
It better be sunny in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah. So listen, if you guys have questions, here's how to do this. Ask us the question. Please type in all caps question, and then the rest of the question doesn't have to be in caps, but just that part, question or comment. And that way, as we go through and we see all the people logging on, we can kind of know whether it's a question that somebody's asking or whether you have a comment, and that will really help. For example, this one right here from somebody named R. Hutchin3.
Bobo, quiet. Hello from Florida. We love you guys. We love you too. Saw your podcast on Hoosier Cruiser. Did they say anything about delivery times? They had, what did they say? 6 months?
6 months.
6 months?
6 months, they
6
said.
inches?
They said 6 months. The one that we showed you in the video on YouTube yesterday was their very first one. And the guy we interviewed, Earl, and his wife, who kind of made a cameo appearance in it, that's going to be their RV. So they were showing that off. And then we said, well, if you wanted to buy another one, how long? And they said about 6 months. So I think they have a couple of the chassis coming in. And this will be a very small operation. They're not going to be churning out hundreds of them a month like some of the big manufacturers. They're all custom cruisers. So a neat thing. I wish them luck. Their pricing was the best pricing we found on any Class C's or even B's. You know,
if you watch the video, you know why the pricing is so low.
Yeah, great story, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is a great story.
Yeah. So that's on our YouTube channel. It came out yesterday. If you haven't seen the video, we'll run over there and take a look at it. And we would love to see you. Davis, Sandy, and Buster with a comment.
Have some fun projects coming up. Installing a huge 35 by 18 window in the door, replacing the screen door with a retractable one, and installing a muffler on the generator. Wow, that's a lot of projects.
Well, that's
must
great.
Be very handy.
You can come over to our property in Tennessee now with that muffler on your generator, and that's great. Yeah, the generators can be noisy, even though I think they're not that bad anymore.
Not that bad, I don't think.
When we started off 10 years ago, oh my gosh, they were really loud, but they're still loud. They're still loud. Well, that's a good project. Good DIY stuff. Robin Ostermeyer.
If you had 3 100 lithium batteries and a 3,000 watt inverter, would it make a noticeable difference from what you currently have?
Yes, it would. That would that's kind of the sweet spot, I think, that we would want in an RV is at least 300 watts of lithium and that 3,000 watt inverter. Now we have right now 200 watts of lithium and a 2,000 watt inverter, and really only a couple of times in really cold weather, if we were boondocking, have we had issues with not enough power. So it's most of the time fine, but 300 watts or two of their bigger. Anyway, over 300 watts of lithium would be great. The 3,000 watt inverter would be great. And if I was putting a lot of new solar on a new rig, I think I would like 400 to 600 watts.
I was going to say you'd want more than 3.
Yeah, I think we have 400 watts of solar now. In the summer and in the southern climate, that 400 watts, like here in Florida, where the sun shines most of the time, not last week, where the sun shines in the summer, that 400 watts of solar on the roof tops up our lithium batteries every day. But that's not true as you go into northern climes or if you're in lots of clouds. So that would be a nice setup. That's what I would like. That would be the minimum that I would try and get on a new RV, something like that. Good question, Robin. Jerry Cornelius.
Okay, is there an app that will route you to secondary roads rather than the interstate highways?
I think, I don't know of an app that will do it. We use Waze all the time through Apple CarPlay when we travel. I don't even use the system that's in our Wonder. And I use Waze primarily because it tells us like this trip.
It's pothole season.
It was warning us about potholes. Yeah.
I mean, there are so many potholes out there, and you need a heads up because traffic's heavy, and some of these potholes could just about swallow you. And also gators, on the road.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the animals. I'm talking about the treads on the tires.
Yeah.
That can be out there, and cars on the side of the road.
And it reroutes you a lot. But I can't. That'll usually set me a route. They'll usually give me a couple of choices when I ask it to set a route. I don't know if I can specifically say just take the blue highways, rather than the interstates. You can do that on some of the dedicated GPS systems like from Magellan or Garmin. But Waze does a pretty good job of it. I always set up a route where I'm going to go, and it usually gives me a couple of choices. But I don't know if you can specifically filter it to keep off the interstates. We haven't done that. That's why we like to carry paper maps too, in a big map book where there's just something tactile about holding your route.
I like maps. I like to see.
I do too. Thanks, Jerry. Good question. Appreciate that. Donna.
Taking my maiden voyage in my new Class B on Tuesday, close to home.
Good for you.
I'd say that's wise, taking your first trip close to home.
Well, you always recommend that when you get a new RV, that you tell the dealership that part of their walkthrough deal is that, I would even say, find me a spot. You pay for a spot because I'm buying it from you for me to spend at least the first night near you so that I can come right back to you in the morning, or you can come to me if something doesn't work. Some dealers will do that.
You were going to say that you have their emergency phone number and say somebody needs to be on call.
Well, that'd be a pretty good idea too. That'd be a great idea. But you're doing a great thing. Be close to home, Donna. Try it. A lot of people, we always say too, if you can't find a spot where you can stay near the dealership, stay in your own driveway for the first night and just have fun, because you'll enjoy it. And you really do need to stay in it for a day or two when you get a new RV, just so you can get comfortable in using it and understanding, and because you'll have a million questions. What did they say about this button, or how to do this? And something else that Jennifer says on your walkthrough, she recommends always that you videotape it too, so you can go back and play it.
If there's two people, it's good one takes notes and videos, or divide up the work, but get a good understanding.
Have fun, Donna. That's great. Toby Carlson.
From Wisconsin. Are you selling the Florida condo since you have the Tennessee property?
No.
The condo is a rental property.
That's our retirement income, No, that's our rental property, and we use it. Our kids are coming down. Two of our kids and their families. We're going to have that place maxed out, but they're coming down in a couple of weeks, and then we rent it. One of the reasons why we're in the Florida Panhandle, even though it's a little colder here than other parts of Florida, the season here, the rental season, is really from May until really the middle of August. And some people will rent earlier, but that's when we do ours. From May till August, we rent it. It's really warm. That's when we're traveling the rest of the country. And then in the fall, we come here and
check on it.
Yep.
And like we've been down here buying a new sofa, and seems like pots and pans, and when you rent out, you never know quite what you'll find.
So you can see all the jet skis behind us. They're all coming in. They've all been out playing all day. The wind has died. It's just as calm and as beautiful.
Yeah, without the wind blowing, it's very pleasant.
I'll show you the sunset just a little bit to the west, which is that way. I'll show you that before we go off the air. It's still pretty high in the sky.
I was going to warn you, somebody's walking a dog over there, and Bo's not chained up very securely. I don't know if Bo's going to want to go play.
I got him.
That's good.
If you see me get dragged off this,
don't know what happened.
I got Bo's leash. I'm holding onto it all here. Will Francis.
How often do you travel versus stopping in one location? Like, what if you want to just Netflix and one weekend?
We've never wanted to do that, Will, but that's us. We would stop for a weekend and do it.
Yeah.
And one of our goals this year is to stay, and it's a smart goal now with fuel so high, is not to stay place to place every single night. We tend to go, the last 10 years have been go, chasing down all these stories. And this year we're going to try and stay in locations a little longer, so we can just enjoy that location and really explore it a little more thoroughly. But that's the beauty of RV travel. Just if you feel like staying for a while, you just stay. And if you feel like going, you go. So
you're the boss.
You're the boss, Will. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Now, if you're asking us personally, I don't know. We've stayed in a few places just because we didn't feel like traveling. A couple of times we had that one anniversary. Remember that anniversary in Wyoming? We were both sick. I had a cold and then you had a cold, and we ended up staying for 4 or 5 days in one spot. But Normally we move, sometimes just a few miles, sometimes not at all. If we're boondocking, we might stay in the same national forest, but stay in 3 or 4 different spots as we travel around. But as Jen said, you're the boss. Whatever you kind of want to do, you can do.
Mhm.
So good questions. Nancy Mezzi.
Greetings from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. You mentioned last week that dewinterizing is easy. Can you tell us the steps for dewinterizing? And it's different with every vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, every day.
It's got to get out the manual.
I mean, when you winterized, you flipped some valves in your water plumbing system. You bypassed certain things like your hot water heater. You drained your hot water heater. So you put antifreeze in the plumbing system. So in general, you want to, whatever valves you switched in the fall, you want to turn them back and open up valves so the plumbing system is not bypassing the hot water heater. You want to put your hot water, depending on what kind of a hot water heater you have, and ours is just a filter I have to pop in. Some of you have an old anode rod that you have to place in. It all depends on the unit. Once you hook up to city water again, in our case, as a switch winterized, and that's what it's in when it's winterized, and when you're dewinterizing, normal. So you put the water back to normal. You run water through your city water, through your freshwater taps, in the sink and in the bathroom and in the shower and outside shower, whatever you have in your RV, until the pink stuff that's in the plumbing lines that you put in when you winterize it in the fall, till that pink stuff, the antifreeze, is all out and the water runs clear. Then you turn on your hot water heater, you fill up your freshwater tank. We always recommend sanitizing your freshwater tank at the start of the season. You can buy stuff at any RV supply store, or you can take like a tablespoon of bleach and just put that in the whole tank, drive around, shake it around a little bit, and then you're going to want to empty that freshwater tank 2 or 3 times until there's no taste of bleach. But that's about it. It literally, as long as I just described it, that's about what it takes. It's flip, 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 put in this thing, flip a switch here, fill in the water, and you're done. 5 minutes to dewinterize.
If you're experienced and you don't have to go back to the manual.
Yeah, well, I'd go back to the manual. I can't remember, what did I do with that valve? And I marked it because there's one valve that I always forget. And I turn on I get it all done, and then I see water coming out, and it's because I forget to bypass it, open a switch on mine. But every RV is different, and they all have it in the description how to do it.
I've got to warn you, when you dewinterize, if you're like us and you store a bunch of things in the shower.
Oh yeah.
We didn't empty the shower. And it just so happened that the handle was on and water was going all over everything in there. So that was a lot of drama. So make sure that it's empty. And most of the time when we travel, I take a little plastic bag and put it on the shower head so that water doesn't drip out. And, every now and then that handle gets bumped. And when it gets bumped, that's a bad thing. Yeah. If you store stuff in there.
Because water will come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just tie a little bag on it.
Yeah. So Nancy, that was a long answer, but I want to tell you, it's not hard.
It just dawned on me because I don't think people want to do it. You could take a little bag and hook it on the kitchen faucet because a lot of drips come out, and then you get that calcification. You get that white
over the season. You mean
in the sink. I mean, if you want to be crazy.
Yeah, you can do it, Nancy. Easy. Traveling Merton and Sue.
Found you through Traveling Robert. Just subscribed recently and are glad we did. Enjoyed a couple of videos already and are looking forward to future ones too. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Robert is a friend, and he's a great guy.
He is. We think the world of Robert. We've known Robert now for
a few years.
Years and years now. And he's the real deal. I really like Robert. He's he doesn't have any airs about him. He's a good guy. Thank you for the nice comments. Eric Miller.
Looking at super bags, is yours the bedspread version or the regular bag setup? We have twin beds that are the bedspread version. Bedspread, yeah, that's got the little skirt on the sides. And then the first one, the king size that we got, is just a regular bag.
Yeah.
So we have We have each, and we love our super bags.
Yeah.
They are great. Can't recommend them highly enough.
We also
They have served us well.
We also have Betty's, which we like, and you can watch. We have a whole video on YouTube about the different bedding systems that we have. And then this last trip, you are just using
I'm using my
sheets and the blanket.
Sheets, and I'm using the top part of the bedding.
Okay, and I'm
so
using
that
the
they
whole
match.
Betty, but
He's using the whole bedding.
you know, I think it's all good.
Well, you know that whether you get the super bag, you get the Betty's, even the sheets if they're colored, to wash them in cold water. And it says with the super bags to let them air dry. And that's a good idea because you know that when you dry things, they get beat up. It'll last longer if you don't use the dryer. And also, I think because of the zipper, they say the super bags do not put in the dryer. The Betty's, you can put them in the dryer, but it's supposed to be air temperature. And if you put any heat in there, they will shrink a little bit.
Yeah, so good. Hey, before I get to see our hats, put our hats together. These are cool hats. This is part of our summer new designs on our hats.
I feel like
the new one. This is a new one, pink, and we got cool shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and lots of spring colors. And you can
need socks.
We need socks. Phyllis was just telling us we need a blanket. I think we got a blanket. And okay, here's a question. Somebody sent me a note and said, "Hey, on Shopify, we can produce for you bomber jackets." This is bomber jacket. Maybe I'll get a sample. I want to see.
Get one for Bo.
Get one for Bo. Yeah.
Yeah, Bo's
But
got
anyway,
some glasses.
our spring designs. If you haven't seen them, go right there. RVLifestyle.com. Spring shopping.
I can just see a picture of Bo. Bo has sunglasses.
Yeah.
If he had sunglasses, little bomber jacket.
What do they call those? Doggy goggles?
Yep, doggy goggles.
Yeah. Ty Webb.
Okay, since you and Jen had time to talk while you traveled, how is the fifth wheel conversation going? If going well, order your truck this week. If going well, order your truck about a month ago.
It's pretty hard to get a truck. Let me just tell you that. I shouldn't say any more about any of all this stuff, but thank you, Ty. We may have more to say later. I don't know.
Especially when you take the little woman.
Don't take your wife shopping for a new truck.
I said, you got to be kidding us.
Stop. Enough. We can't talk anymore about it. Thanks, Ty. Good advice. Good advice. Facebook user.
Okay, from Quebec, Canada. You know, a device that could start the air conditioning while we are away for the dog, or what do you do with your dog when you need to go for a small time and it's a hot day?
Well, I don't know what kind of an RV you have, but many of them now will allow you, if you have a generator, to do an auto gen start, where you program your generator to start if the temperature drops or goes up above a certain degree. So if you set it for, say, the temperature in the RV goes up to 85, over 85, the generator comes on and the air comes on. That is a standard feature on many RVs. I don't know whether it's easy to retrofit an older RV with it. The solution that we have that gives us peace of mind is a device called Waggle, Waggle, and it is a pet monitor. It's they have a couple of different systems. They have a camera that lets you see what's going on in the RV. And then they also have just a device that keeps track of the temperature. And if the temperature gets above or below a limit that you've programmed, it sends you a text alert on your phone so you can get back in, turn on the air. This is just a very great thing to know if you've left the air conditioning on and if it should go out or somebody unplugs it or whatever. If you're in a campground and the temperature gets too hot, you have time to get back, because you can program that. That's just gives us great peace of mind. And frankly, that's all we use. We'll leave the air on if we want to go out to dinner or in a restaurant, or if we see a museum that we want to go in, we'll go in. We'll come back and we'll check on the dog occasionally, make sure all's working. Another thing about Waggle is you can on demand monitor the temperature, which we do. So I check it all the time. It's 72 degrees in there. It's just perfect.
And when you have the monitor, if you enter a place where there is like a security person where you go in,
like in the parking lot. Yeah.
I'm thinking of a museum that we went to, and we showed that person how we were monitoring our RV with our dog. And it was good that we did, because when we were leaving, he said somebody who was checking on the parking lot were ready. They were ready to go rescue Bo.
Yes, it is against the law in a growing number of states to leave an animal unattended in an RV, whether or not your air conditioning is on. So just be aware of that. That is against the law in some states.
In some
And
states.
your idea, you're saying, well, the air conditioning was on, he was fine, is not going to cut it. In this case, we were at a museum in Georgia. It was very hot, and the temperature was just fine in there. But I showed the security guy, as we walked in. I said, "Hey, we're going to go through it. Our RV is out there in the RV part of the lot. Our dog is in it. The air conditioning's running. He's fine."
And we had a sign on the front
And we had a
windshield.
sign, and he said that they would have probably broken in, and you don't want that, and you don't want a ticket. So know the laws in the states about that, because that is a problem, and that's the law. So I hope that answered your question. Head west on 90. Yeah, that's one of our favorite roads because it takes you west.
Do you think the very high gas prices will make campground reservations easier to get to the national parks crowd, more manageable this summer?
I do. I do think that, and I'm just giving you anecdotal evidence based on last week. Was it in last week's podcast? We talked about it, about what we thought that there was as soon as you hit that $4 threshold, as soon as you hit that $5 threshold for diesel, it becomes extremely, it has a bad effect on RV travel. And we heard from a lot of people, you can see the comments on the video from last week, people saying, hey, we've cut back. We've canceled reservations. We're not going to rallies that we wanted to go to. I had one guy in the big Class A says it cost me $1,000 to fill up. And so I'm not going many places this year. So I think, and we heard from others about campgrounds. One campground said they had 7 cancellations on weekend reservations just last week for over the summer, the cancellations, and people said it's just too costly for us to drive there. So yes, I do think that will have an effect. I do also think it's going to have an effect on RV travel. I think, this gas prices shows no signs of easing. This is a tough subject to talk about. I got a nasty email from somebody this week who said, you guys used to be so positive, and now you're talking about, we don't want to hear about that. Well, we're positive. We're still RVing, and we're trying to give you different ideas on how to do it, but I don't think you can ignore that. It is past uncomfortable for many people. And I read that they think that it's going to cost a minimum of 40% more for RV travel this year than it has been. And those prices are going to keep rising, and they're not going to go down soon. So yes, I do think campground reservations will free up for weekends for many people. That's kind of the silver lining, except it's not a silver lining.
So in a way, it is positive because there'll be more spots out there. And the negative part is we can't go downstairs and print up currency.
Right. And, the last big RV downturn, which was 2008, was directly tied to incredibly high gas prices. So just look at history, and I think, we're going to see a lot of things shake out this year in terms of travel and reservations. So it's tough. People who are already barely affording to go are not going to go. I think that's going to be about line. Linda Ward.
Okay, comment. We have finally made some reservations. First major trip will be to Shenandoah. I wish the process of making reservations was easier.
Yes, I do too. It's not, unfortunately, Linda. It is tough. That's one of the reasons that we bought the property in Tennessee, where if you're a regular, we're developing some property there. We just found 2 more sites that you can have.
Me and my big mouth. I said, because we're talking about hauling all this dirt to make these 2 spots. I said, you could park right there and you could park right there. Next thing I know, he's saying, hey, we could make 2 more spots. I'm just like,
well, those would be boondocking spots, but they could still use the water.
They could park their car there, was what I was thinking.
Well, they can park their cars there.
I have to be careful what I say.
We can't give you any more information other than to also say, I think we found a solution to our property in Michigan too, where we can where we can kind of
Mooch
have
dock?
it'll be more mooch docking than our own property for a while, but we're pretty excited about that. And we won't have anything more to say about that really until probably spring. So when we get up there and show it to you, but we're pretty excited about that too.
Mhm.
And for
We
us,
are.
that's going to be a lot of our camping. We love Michigan, particularly in the summer, and we love Tennessee. We're not particularly fond of Tennessee in the dead of summer when it's pretty hot and humid in the woods. Wouldn't be bad on the river though, on the Tennessee River. So,
True.
so there's all sorts of alternatives. There's always a way to camp. There's always a way to camp, and that's what we're going to hopefully
Where there's a
find.
will, there's a way.
DF.
Just checked. Yes, they are.
There are yeah.
Setting in ways to avoid both freeway and toll roads.
Excellent. Thank you for checking that for
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
Yep, you can see the sun starting to go down. Yeah, it's going down over the condos now. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is what's known as Santa Rosa Sound right here. This water, it's part of Choctawhatchee Bay, which is part of the Gulf of Mexico, and this is also part of the Intercoastal Waterway as well. So it's a pretty neat area, and we are in the Panhandle of Florida, in Northwest Florida, on what's known as the Emerald Coast. And yes, as Radu says, we're very close to Destin. We're really on Okaloosa Island, which is
About
our
7
favorite
miles west of Destin.
7 miles west of Destin is where we are right now. And the first person who shows up here tonight will win a free
A free dog.
RV lifestyle hat. But you must come before we go off the air. DL Hay,
I need a good telescoping RV ladder. Have a suggestion?
just Google telescoping RV ladder. You'll find a whole bunch. I don't think we mentioned them on our. I don't think we have any there. Do we, Phyllis? We do. Phyllis says we do. Go right here and look for telescoping ladder. This is our Amazon influencers page, and it's been really helpful because, as you know, we do a lot of product reviews. We tell you about a lot of stuff, and those every product we talk about, we usually put a link to it there, so you can go see that. Just go to Amazon.com shop. See this /shop/RV lifestyle, and you'll find it. So we do have an RV ladder there. Good. All right. Thank you for the question.
Keeping a little bit of an eye on Bo. He just stood up. I don't know if that means the bird's around or another dog or something caused him to stand up and look.
Blue heron, I think, out there. Heath Paget. Hey, Heath.
Looks like lovely weather and great views. Hope you are both doing amazing. Thank you.
We are. Hope
Thank
you are
you.
too, man. Hope all is really well with you guys. Thank you. That is really kind of you to say.
The car is leaving in front of it. It's driving itself.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Tesla.
Yeah, that's
This
probably
is so cool. There is a Tesla. Where are
Yeah.
they?
I don't know.
Where
But
are
it
they?
is very cool to see a
It
car
is
back up
also
without a
so
driver.
weird. It's a Tesla.
I'd say it's
Oh,
going to
they're over
those
there.
folks
They're right over there.
down there. Yeah.
There's some people just
Are
came
they
in with a
trying to-
boat. That is so spooky. I gotta
It'll
get-
be so
I
common.
really need one of those. I see that Chevy is coming out with an electric truck, but I don't think it will do that. Look at that.
So you want that
It's
instead of a
miracle.
truck?
No, I still want a truck. That is so cool.
It is cool.
I should have
Especially
turned
as
the
we
camera around.
age.
I
Especially as
didn't.
we-
I would have noticed. And you said there's the cars driving.
Well, I
itself.
was watching that car because the lights would come on and it backed up about a foot and then it came forward. And
That was very cool.
so maybe they were messing with us a little. I don't know.
Maybe it's pretty
It
cool.
was directly in front of us.
It's cool. Just backed up, turned around, and drove off to them.
Yep.
Vicky Fry with a question.
Seeing how you two love the RV lifestyle, I'm wondering if the driving ever gives you jet lag. This senior citizen is wondering. Yeah, you can get jet lag. Once I got kind of vertigo because we drove like 600 miles in a day to get home, and
Oh,
a nurse told me eat watermelon.
I like watermelon.
that was a way to get over what I was feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you do. When we drive 8-9 hours a day, which is what we try not to do, but we do sometimes. The next day or two, I'm really tired. Yeah, it's definitely it's you wouldn't think it is because it's pretty comfortable really driving, but you're sitting, which is not good. Even though you should get up every 2 hours and stuff, you don't get up long enough. It's a mess.
This is why I love what we have, a motorhome, because maybe I shouldn't say that I can get up and walk in the back and
Yeah,
lay
you
down.
can. You can.
Yeah, well, you have to pull over,
Yeah.
and let us walk around. But in case you don't have common sense to pull over, I can get up and move around a little bit because I can't sit there forever.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? Yeah. So there is such a thing as it does tire you out, especially when you ride like
And I'm as
crazy.
bad as you. Once I get behind the wheel driving, I don't want those cars that I passed and trucks to pass us again.
Go
I don't want
small,
them to-
live large. Hey, I love that. Scott there.
Question: what is your favorite meal to make on the road? Meals that I've made at home and taken.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I like to grill. I like to grill either fish, chicken, any kind of meat.
Grill
I
right
like to
out.
grill out.
And in the RV, is there anything we like to make besides oatmeal? We like oatmeal.
We make a lot of oatmeal.
Yeah. We've actually come to really like it. What's your favorite? We don't make anything that complicated in
No.
the RV. Mostly we grill out. We ate a lot of salads
I usually make us eggs in some form.
in the morning.
Eggs or oatmeal in the morning. That's a big meal to us.
And take make ahead meals that you bring and you freeze and then you bring them out of the freezer.
Lunch, a grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Some kind of grilled sandwich.
We
Because we have the propane.
We still owe them a couple of cooking recipe videos of you.
No, Mike, we owe a couple of cooking recipes with you cooking.
Yeah, right.
Instead of just pictures of you eating.
Hey, we all do our part,
True.
Yeah. Joy Peterson.
Per your recommendation, we have confirmed reservations for the Sioux Locks. I'm so glad you did. Campground for September. Requests sent 2 months ago. That is perfect if you want to get in there.
That is just an awesome.
I like the Sioux
campground.
Locks. It's fun.
And that's a place you want to sit for several days and just watch the boat traffic go up and down the St. Lawrence River into the Sioux Locks. And then if you just walk down the street, a quarter mile, you can actually go on the locks themselves right over them. So, and you're in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
I don't know why I love watching those big cargo ships going back and forth.
We were just watching a big barge this morning.
Yeah, I like
here.
Yeah, and I also like airplanes.
Yep.
And
do you like trains too?
I'm not as much into trains.
Okay. The RVs, airplanes, boats.
Okay, you're getting picked on now.
Johnny Lightning, come on, Johnny.
I think Mike probably eats better than he cooks.
I eat well. I gotta say, I'm a good eater. Yeah, you're right. All right, Scott Fall.
Hey guys, any surprise images from your Tennessee webcam?
I put them on the podcast. No, on the what did I put them on? We do so much content. I don't remember. It was last week. There goes that Tesla.
Yeah, but it's got a driver now.
Yeah, it's got a driver now. I put the just deer. We had
just deer.
A small herd of deer that were there. They come every night. And they kind of hang out all night long. But nothing exciting. I forgot. I have the camera, so it goes on during the nighttime hours, and I really should have
put it on for the day too.
Daytime as well. But
did you adjust it?
When we go back?
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Actually, our camera at home. We have a creek in our backyard. We've had beaver, mink, deer, raccoons. What else?
Coyote. Lots of deer. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff running through everybody's property. I have one of those Ring doorbells, and I had a bunch of those cameras on our Sticks and Bricks home. And one of the neat things is there's this thing with neighbors where the neighbors share images around you. And it's amazing the stuff that goes through everybody's yards and on their driveways, during the night.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of critters and animals, and sometimes people.
Sometimes two-legged.
A reader.
What's your favorite RV you saw this year?
Which is yours? Probably the one we just did yesterday.
Oh, I was thinking I shouldn't go with that because that's the easy one.
The Hoosier Cruiser.
Yeah, I coerced you into going in and looking at that because I thought this is fun.
I thought that was the most unique product that we saw at the show, basically because of its backstory, that it was 10 guys who worked in the RV industry for years and years and years, all of them who noticed what they thought was kind of a decreasing quality among the big manufacturers, and all of them lamenting the fact that, if we only had our own company. So they quit and they started their own company, and they're building on the Ford F450 cutaway chassis, and they're building a really nice looking unit. I thought the decor was a little dark but it was nice, really good quality
Very
wood.
nice. But, we
And,
like lighter
yeah.
colors.
But I love that story of these entrepreneurs that are, none of them are taking a salary. So their price of this unit is like 150 grand loaded with everything. And most RVs that we saw at the Tampa show were like 200 grand, the motorhomes. So even the Class Bs, except for the real cheapies. So I kind of like that. And I really liked that Keystone Arcadia fifth wheel that was the RV of the year.
Yeah.
First time we've ever really considered a fifth wheel. It's gorgeous. Really nice.
And I liked the washer dryer. Was it a Tiffin?
The washer dryer and the Tiffin.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Was
the
it
Tiffin
both
Wayfarer.
washer and dryer?
Yep.
I know one that
It
was
was a combo.
Both combo.
Is a combo in the Tiffin Wayfarer. That was
Yeah,
very nice too.
I thought I could use that.
But there's not a lot. There were not a lot of other things out there. I think what always attracts us is the story, behind the company, and if there's a really cool designer like the fifth wheel, they really wanted to make a really nice design and bring some innovations to fifth wheels. That had a good story to it, and they also have they're now making lithium standard in all of their units from Battleborn, and that's a cool story there, for fifth wheels. And then the story of the 10 guys who started their own company. So we get attracted kind of to the story.
The people stories.
It's kind of like women in sports.
I was just going to say, you read my mind, because I can only watch sporting events if I know the history of a player or two.
Look at
I have to,
all over our microphone.
Yeah, Bo's everywhere. If you tell me about a player, then I get all cheering for him.
Yeah. So we are always attracted to the story behind the company or the design, stuff like that. I hope that helped.
And I think everybody likes mom and pop stores.
Yeah, we're all rooting for mom and pop stuff. Deborah McDonald's.
How long have you been doing this full time? Well, we aren't full time.
This is our
you're
business.
Working full time.
Yeah,
it's a business now.
Yeah, this is full time.
But we're not living in our RV full time.
We're half to 3/4 of the time in our RV. And the rest of the time we're creating content.
And for retiring, you're working more hours than when you were working.
Yeah, I'm working. But I mean, I'm not right. I work a lot.
Except for one stage in your life where you work 2 full-time jobs at once.
Yes. Well, but now I work maybe 60 hours a week on this.
So
we have
less hours.
I was going to say we have books, we have a podcast, we have videos, we have the blog. And our book is coming out in just a couple of weeks on the Natchez Trace. So hang by. We're going to get that out so you can make your plans to really travel. Best month to travel is probably late April, May, early June. And we'll have this out in just a couple of weeks. That'll be our next book, is on the Natchez Trace. So we've been doing this 10 years this month, actually. We're starting our 11th year. Rich T.
Wow. Tesla has a driver now, but the boat is sailing by itself.
No, the boat's locked up in the marina over there. Oh, look, you can start to see the sun setting on the bridge behind us.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty? That's the sun is on our side. It's dipped behind a condo. So
yep. So much for that.
Yeah. James Massey. Hey, James, how are you?
We are thinking of repainting the interior of our RV to a lighter color. Any issues with value degrading of RV value with such renovations? I wouldn't think so.
If it's done well,
properly.
Yeah, you don't want somebody to say, "Oh, they just slapped down white paint over the,"
And to do it right, well, you would do it right, to do the research as to the prep and what to use. I think it would make it worth more money.
Yeah.
Because if you have, make it whatever is trendy right now.
Yeah. And as long as it's done well and looks good. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's like a house or not, but I think, having a nice, clean, crisp, and the styling now is lighter. Everything is lighter. So.
I mean, I read those on the internet. You get that dated kitchens.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, oh no, my granite's dated, my backsplash is dated. The
10
color
years
of my
old.
cat, no, it's 20.
Oh.
And I even read today something about if it's 20 years, how dated it is. And I'm just like, who's got all this money to redo stuff all the time?
Yeah. Good luck, James. Send us some before and after pictures if you do it.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to see. Bill Sprague.
How do you handle mail with your intermittent travel?
We have a little secret that we can't really tell, but we do have a little secret. We have a really good mailman. Let me just say that. I can't say anymore. I'm getting kicked under the knee. Hi, Phyllis.
Hi. I just wanted to say that we have an article on the blog about this, but also there's a new post about it coming out this week for those who are gone a little bit and those that are gone a long time.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
There are
this week coming up.
Yep. Yep.
There are
Well,
all kinds of ways to handle your mail, and we have used all different ways, and we've used the neighbors. And,
probably the best way is a mail forwarding service in which you get your mail. They give you a virtual mailbox. You can log on anytime. Say, oh, I got this today. Trash it, because you can tell by the envelope. They give you a picture of the envelope, and then if you want, you can say, open that, and they'll scan it for you and show it to you, and that might be enough for you. Then okay, trash it. Or you say, oh no, I need that. Send that to me, and they'll package it all up and send it to you. So, and we've got stuff. If you look under our partners page at rvlifestyle.com/partners, I think it's anytime mailbox is something pretty close to that we're on.
And you could transfer your mail to a relative or a neighbor, and they could get your mail and then tell you if you get something important.
Lots of ways. So that's all good. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
So good question.
The bigger issue is having a neighbor, somebody who can pick up packages that get left at your house.
Yep. Okay. Hey, we're winding down. We'll just do a couple more, and then I'll give you a quick look at what we have of the sunset. I was hoping we could see more of the sky, but there's a condo blocking it over there. Jack Partain says the Wingham was a pretty big story at Tampa. Well, we did a story on that, Jack, and it's okay. It's not for us, and it's that little Italian thing.
Yeah.
I never I just would say that, but I could see some people would like it.
It's small. It does the job. It's cute. Yeah.
To each his own.
It is.
To each his
it
own.
is nice.
But we did a video on it. It's out there. Angela Leone.
Hey guys, just wanted to say that our LTV finally arrived, and we're picking it up this Friday. We are so excited. It's been 20 months.
Wow. Congratulations.
We are so
Angela.
excited for you. I know you're going to love it.
Good for you, and enjoy it, Angela. Send us pictures. We love seeing pictures of everybody in the new stuff. Larry Weitzel.
We have switched to a fifth wheel toy hauler. Glenda has a craft area, and I have a small blacksmith shop, and we love it.
See, now that's the kind of story I'd love to tell. I wish we were next to us. That's
where do you live?
Cool. Yeah. Where are you, Larry? Where can we come and do a story on that?
Yeah,
that is exactly
what
I'd love to see. That is awesome. So let me know someplace where you are. We'd love to hook up with you and take a video of how you're using that fifth wheeler. All right, you guys, the sun has set.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful sunset here on the Emerald Coast. Let me see if I can kind of show you. Well, you really can't see that sunset.
You have the condo in the way.
There we go. That condo right there is in the way. And we're having fun, but where's Bo?
He's right by the picnic table.
Okay, I get you all dizzy. I lifted it.
Yeah, they're going to think they're on a ride.
Yeah, come on. Forget that self-driving Tesla. We've got a self-driving computer. Thank you to Phyllis. Thank you to Chris Cowley on YouTube, Phyllis on Facebook. Newsletter out tomorrow. Lots of content in there. If you're thinking about traveling for the next year, we've got really some wonderful resources that those of you who are subscribers to our weekly newsletter, that you'll get that in your email box tomorrow. If you're not a subscriber, just go to rvlifestyle.com and you can sign up. If you do it tonight, I think you'll still get tomorrow's email. And podcast coming up Wednesday, and of course a new video on YouTube on Saturday. And we're going to be working on our ebooks, trying to get the Natchez Trace one out and ready for you in just a couple of weeks. Thank you guys so much for being with us tonight. And we again are coming to you from the Emerald Coast of Florida. And this is Santa Rosa Sound, part of Choctawhatchee Bay, the Gulf of Mexico. I like saying Choctawhatchee Bay. I used to call it for the first 2 years, and nobody corrected it, Choctawhatchee Bay, but it's Choctawhatchee Bay. So cool stuff. Thank you guys for being with us tonight. We'll see you next Sunday somewhere on the road.
Happy trails.